for Ríordáin.
First Minister, you're extremely welcome, and delighted to address you on behalf of the Labour group here in the Seanad. The Labour movement, the international Labour movement, has had maybe an uncomfortable relationship with national movements in the past. Indeed, our own founder, James Connolly from Edinburgh, once said that you can change the symbols of a state, but that will never be enough. But your own national movement for self-determination has much to be admired of. Certainly from this part of the world where we've seen such sectarian tensions, when we've seen violence, when we've seen bloodshed, your move for national self-determination has seen none of those things. And in fact, the referendum 2 years ago was quite inspiring for us here in Ireland to witness but a fantastic engagement, particularly with young people, and that it didn't become in any way a sectarian headcount. It became rather something that maybe has unified your country rather than anything else. I find it quite inspiring, to be honest, to be in your presence today, because as somebody who is deeply worried about trends across Europe and trends across the world, when we see what's happening in America, in Britain, across Europe, that whenever I hear you speak, I actually am inspired that maybe things can get better. The very first issue that you raised in this House today was of the refugee crisis. I find that deeply moving. I find that the fact that you are so in touch with your own history and our responsibility to that history, incredibly moving and inspiring. And when nationalism across Europe now has a very bad name, your own nationalism and your own sense of your nationalism and your sense of your own nation's history is something that is to be greatly commended. I admire your stances on things such as TTIP. I admire your stances on issues such as marriage equality. And I admire your determination not to allow your country, the UK, and the rest of Europe to break itself up from what has been a good and honourable movement since the mid-40s. Let's remind ourselves that the European Union came out of a time of great division, of war, of pain, of debt and of suffering. And now it appears that Europe is turning in on itself on the basis, if I might say so, in the Brexit campaign, of a racist lie, of those who will pretend to care about public services but really have a xenophobic heart. And you have stood up against that, First Minister, and we commend you for that. At this time of great uncertainty, at this time of great fear, at this time when people are facing against each other, at this time when leadership is needed, you are a shining light, and not only in these islands, and not only across Europe, but I believe across the world. So as the inevitable reaches its conclusion, as Scotland will, as is inevitable in my view, take its place amongst the nations of the world, as your self-determination becomes a reality, please know that in these houses and in this country you will have the closest of allies, not just on the basis of national self-determination, because of what we must give to the world, our belief system, our values, because at this point, at this historic juncture, I think what we believe in Ireland and what you believe in Scotland is more important now than ever. May I congratulate you for your address, and may I offer you again our solidarity between ourselves and yourselves.
Thank you very much.